welcome to my channel. I am so glad that you decided to stop by and see what I am up to today. If you don't know who I am the Humble Bumble, and I am pollinating the world with the good news of the gospel through song. But hold up, some people out there seem to think that gospel is an ugly word, but it doesn't have to be. So if you'll stick with me, I'm coming to you in a very non-biased way, and whether you are saved or unsaved, confused, or just looking for something to believe in, I know that we've got a conversation that we can get into. So today, I know that you probably clicked on this because of my towel, and so I'm going to show you some pictures of what I used to look like, and I've got a reason for doing this. So let's get into it. All right, so this first one was actually me and my family, my dad and my mom and my sister, and he was preaching at a church at the time. This was when I was about 10 years old, and so I'm just kind of showing you this picture so that you can see me and my whole family before I get to some other ones. Okay, this picture, you can actually see that I'm starting to gain some weight. This was the first time in my life that I had started putting on weight, and the reason for that was because when I was about 10 years old, 9 years old, I became epileptic, and because it caused me to have seizures and things, my mom took me to a doctor, and he gave me a medicine called Depakote. And when you take Depakote, it really causes you to crave food. And I started craving food like a pregnant woman. And before I knew it, the weight started to pile on. And this was when I guess I was probably in about 6th or 7th grade. Yeah. Okay, and this next photo, this was actually when I was probably about 16 years old. And I believe I was really depressed at the time. I was beginning to be sad. You know, if you watch my Mary Tyler Moore video, this is during that time. This is when Mary Tyler Moore became my best friend, because honestly, you know, the picture speaks for itself. It did. I had a really low self-esteem growing up because of the weight gain. I didn't ask for the seizures. I didn't ask to gain weight. I didn't want that to happen, but yeah, that's what happened. And people are very cruel, so you know, they were really cruel to me, and it was honestly for what I looked like. And this is what we call judging, guys. This is judging the outside and not the inside, because I am telling you right now that I am still the person today that I was yesterday. I might not look the same, but I remember who I was on the inside, and I love who I was on the inside. I honestly didn't know I was heavy. I didn't know I was fat. I was just fine with who I was until the world told me I was fat and made me evaluate myself. You know, the world is so cruel. The world is so cruel. So let's go to the next one. Okay, and this one is actually when I was a choir leader at a church for about 3 years, and this was about 2 years before my dad had died. And he came to church, and I talked my sister into coming. She would come every once in a while with me, and we was able to get a picture, you know, of all of us together. And so yes, I was heavy at the time, and I don't really have any pictures of after my dad died, but after my dad died, I seemed to hold my weight there. But after my dad died, I ended up gaining another 40 pounds before I dropped down to where I am now. But when I tell you guys, here's another one. But when I tell you guys that I have struggled very hard over the years, that is such an understatement. With self-esteem issues. This is the fluctuation in my weight, was my self-esteem issues. And I want to try and get real with you guys before I actually tell you the reason for this video. And that's because, you know, though I was heavy set, and though I didn't have many friends, I was still that same human being. And I think my flaws give me character. They really do. I love who I am. I have not always loved who I am. I have been made to feel ashamed for who I am, even my voice in the church house, you know. And being in the church house, I endured more bullying in the church house than I did in the world. These things were about my voice, honestly about my weight. It was about a lot, and it came from the church house. But because the church house rules are separate from the world's rules, or they're supposed to be, you have to go about and look at things in a different way, and it's wrong. This is a way for, the people who call themselves Christians, who bully, are trying to hurt other people, push other people out of the church house, and blame the person that it happened to, which was not their fault. When they do fall out of church and turn their back on God, the church don't want the responsibility. I could have turned my back on God, not once, not twice, not a handful of times. I could turn my back on God a lot because of the way that the people in the church house behaved and treated me. But somehow I managed to keep my eyes on God. I really, really did, because again, they're flawed creations. And when somebody does something and they call themselves a Christian, I want you to know that you need to test that spirit, because the God that I serve, the real Jesus Christ, wouldn't condone it. And he is not happy with his people. I am not trying to shove the gospel down anybody's throat. I'm just trying to come to you in a very non-biased way on both sides. I want to stand on the behalf of the Christians, the confused people. I want to stand on behalf of the lost people, because it's not right that people are using the Bible to bully other people. It's just not. So this is why I don't have a church home that I belong to right now, and I don't intend on it, because I look at a relationship with the Lord Jesus Christ like a marriage. So I want to take my time to find that. I'm not in a rush to jump into anything. I mean, that show, Married at First Sight and stuff like that? This is not what I want. Too many people don't take the gospel seriously. So when they leave a church that they're not happy with, they want to just hurry and rush and jump into another one. No, my name is on a roster somewhere, but I'm going to leave it there. And I'm not going to join another church until God lays that on my heart and I am happy with that church and I don't feel that I have to endure that church. God is going to lead me there. Again, I'm not looking for a perfect church, because there's no such thing. There is no perfect people. They are all flawed. But God is going to give me the direction, and he's going to tell me where to go one day. But right now, if this is what I have to put up with, this is why I have my channel, guys. I cannot, for the life of me, understand how this bullying is allowed to happen, and nobody is standing up on the other person's behalf. When I can remember one time I was living in the world, and I had went to a club, and there's lots of people that drink around you. Of course, I was never the drunkard per se. I was just the social drinker, the fun person to hang out with, kind of a thing. I would have never hurt nobody. But me and my friend went outside for just a moment to get some air, and all of a sudden, this man, or not even man, he was probably like 21 or something, and he comes up, and I'm not lying, guys. When I'm telling you that there was a lot of people outside, there was, but not one person stood up for me. Not one. The guy comes over, and he literally shoves me down so hard. I hit the ground. But because I had such a bad self-esteem, somehow I felt like I deserved it. And nobody wanted to help me. Well, my friend saw that I was laying on the ground, and when he saw that, he came and picked me up. And he looked at that man and he said, "Why did you do that to my friend?" The man laughed and just walked away. But I wasn't strong enough to do anything about it. And I just kind of want to get real with you for a minute, because I know that there is a lot of depression and sadness in the world today. I've went to therapy. I've went through the whole run with medications. I don't take them anymore, because I really do put my eyes on God. It's so much easier said than done. But I will never forget that one day I was looking on Facebook, and this was right after my mother died. And I think that this was as low as I could have possibly felt. And there was this meme on Facebook. Somebody had put it up there being cruel to somebody else, which is so wrong. But it's something that has stuck with me over the years, because it hit the nail on the head exactly how I felt. There is a tree somewhere out there producing oxygen so that you can breathe. And I think you owe it an apology. That is how I feel every day. I just want to let you guys know that though I look the way that I do today, I've only looked like this for the last 6 months. And since I've been doing a lot of studying with my videos, I know that in the Christian world, women are not supposed to have short hair. Guys, I haven't told you the story about my hair, but when my mom and my dad died, I went through such severe depression. My hair was so unhealthy, it was falling out by the handfuls. I didn't want to lose my hair. It occurred to me one day that maybe if I just cut it all off, it'll grow back healthy. And I was right, it did. I've never had short hair like this. And then when it got to a certain point, I realized how easy it was to have healthy hair. And so easy to fix. It makes me happy. And I know that a lot of people out there judge me for that. But again, just like when I was fat, when I was young, they were looking at me and judging me for who I was. But they didn't want to know who I was on the inside. And the same girl right there is right here, only I'm older. And the shell looks different. But I am still that person. You know, I'm happy with my lunch lady arms. They give me character. I love my neck. It's getting so weird. I'm putting moisturizer on it. I'm trying to keep it from happening. But if it does, whatever. Because this is a part of my life. This is who I am. I am 38 years old. I am going to be 39 on August the 15th. I am not afraid to tell you my age. I'm an open book. I really am an open book. These scars that are on my face from acne, I wear those proudly. Because everything about me that is not right, these are my flaws. This is my character. Why do I have to spend the rest of my life wishing I was somebody else or that I looked like somebody else? You know, why can't I just be happy with me? I realized that I have been happy with me. I was even happy with me then. But the world wasn't happy with me. So here I am today. And I'm realizing that when I walk out and I look the way that I do, I get complimented left and right on my clothes, the way that I look, but I don't see it as a good thing. I honestly get sad sometimes because I know that they're complimenting me due to the way that I look. I've lost weight. Maybe I look good in the shirt that I'm wearing that day. Maybe my hair looks great that day. Maybe, you know, my eyes. I did something else too that I don't typically do. But you know what, guys? I am spending my life looking for something real. I wrote a song about it. I ain't even lying. It's the truth. I just want something real. So the real reason for my video today is actually because I want to talk about sin in the church house. And that specific sin is gluttony. I know that it's not a part of the 10 Commandments. I know that it doesn't specifically say in the 10 Commandments, thou shalt not commit gluttony. But when gluttony is spoken of in the Bible, it's not spoken of in a good light. In fact, it's placed alongside the drunkard and the wine bibber and things that are bad. You know, I can remember as a little girl, especially in those Depakote days where I was gaining weight. Oh my stars, my dad was the preacher and we got to have some of the greatest get-togethers. I mean, I'm telling you right now, growing up, Baptist, I was a Baptist, we love us some fried chicken. I can eat fried chicken every single day. Church, the church people, they always make the best fried chicken and casseroles and desserts and sides. I mean, oh my gosh, it's a dream. It is an absolute dream. I feel like it's second best to heaven. But do you want me to tell you the truth? I would go up there and I would eat plates on plates. I would watch people pile their plates up so high and sit there and eat. You know, the pastors themselves are so very heavy. I have seen some extremely heavy pastors. And I know that if I had eaten till my heart's content, went outside, fell over in the grass because I was so sick for the amount of food that I ate, the people in the fellowship hall would have come out and they would have laughed at me. They would have had fun with me. They would have said, oh, look at her. She's just eat too much, whatever. Ha, 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 ha. But nobody was going to tell me the danger of what it meant to be a glutton. God doesn't just look down on gluttony. He hates gluttony. Anything in excess is a sin. Anything in excess. And you know, I tell my husband sometimes, if our sins were like food and we could see the effects of what it does because we would gain weight, everybody would be walking around and they would be so fat. You know, whether the excess is you sit down and play video games all day, whether the excess is that you eat all day, whether it's that maybe you talk on the phone and text and go on Facebook all day. There is so many different things that it could be. Excess. Look it up. Google it. I'm going to throw it up here. Excess. Anything in excess is bad. God looks down on that. God frowns upon that, because anything in excess will take your eyes off of God. We are called not to love this world. We're called to separate ourselves from it. And because of that, I feel like that is just one sin that the church tolerates. Nobody's doing or saying anything about. That is a sin. That is absolutely a sin. So this is something small in their eyes, be it small in their eyes. It is still a sin, and this is something that is tolerated in the church house, and believe it or not, because sin is all the same in God's eyes. That means that if your church does that, there's sin in the camp. Just something that small, y'all. Something that small. Okay, well, I hope that somebody learned something today. I hope that you enjoyed my video. I wanted to put myself on the line there, and I want to show you that I'm going to live up to the name, the Humble Bumble, because I am humble. And I want you to know that if you've got flaws, that's all right. Own those flaws, because they make you who you are. I wholeheartedly believe that God allowed me to go through the things that I did so that I could help somebody like you. If you haven't already, would you please consider subscribing to my channel and being a part of what God has in store for me and my ministry? I just want to thank you so much and tell each and every one of you that I love you. I really do, or I wouldn't be doing this, because God commanded us to love our neighbor more than we love ourselves, and that's why I put myself on the line today. So I just wanted to say thank you, and if you haven't already, please stop by, check out my video. Everything you know is in your mind, and you definitely need to watch the background story too, because this song is so deep. But I just want to tell each and every one of you that I love you, and that I hope that you have a beautiful and blessed day.